Hi, Dr. Tamara Harville here to talk to you about basic paragraph structure in academic writing. And I found this wonderful little pic on ClipArt that says your paragraph should peel. So if you think of a banana and a paragraph, it might help you with the structure. You start with your point. You have to make a point. Then you add evidence to back it up and support it with some examples. Then you explain how that evidence supports your point, and then link that point either to the next paragraph or back to the original thought. And the next few slides are then going to explain these to you. So point, the first one, is the topic sentence. And it's usually the very first sentence in an academic essay or academic paragraph. However, when you read somebody else's writing that's not academic, it could be anywhere. But for the sake of academic essays and paragraphs, it should be the first sentence. It introduces your overall idea that you want to discuss within that paper, and it's usually the most general sentence in a paragraph. And the reason it's general is because the more focused it is, the less you can really say about it. But the more general it is, the more you can explain about it. So here is a short little paragraph, and I do mean short, that shows examples. My hometown, Wheaton, is famous for several amazing geographical features. First, it is noted for the Wheaton River, which is very wide and beautiful. Also, on the other side of the town is Wheaton Hill, which is unusual because it's very steep. So, like I said, very short, too short for an academic essay. But that topic sentence, my hometown, Wheaton, is famous for several amazing geographical features, is general enough that we can then talk about geographical features and why it's famous. Okay, here are some examples that sentences should not be as a topic sentence. So first example, my hometown is famous because it is located by Wheaton River, which is very wide, and because it is built near an unusually steep hill called Wheaton Hill. There is so much information involved with that, except for explaining a little bit, there's not much else you can do in that paragraph. So that's too much in a topic sentence. Here's another one. There are two reasons why some people like to buy cars with automatic transmission, and two reasons why others like cars with manual transmission. Yeah, that's just saying, okay, I'm just going to list some things for you. That's, again, too much information. You want it to be more general. Clouds are white. This is true for the most part. They can be gray, they can be various shades, but what else can you say, right? So you want your topic sentences to be vague enough or general enough that the rest of the paragraph then adds to it. All right, excuse me. So you want to revise. There are two reasons why some people like cars with manual transmission. Now that gives you something to focus on. The shapes of clouds are determined by various factors. So now you can write a lot more besides, okay, a cloud is white, whoop-de-doo. Now you can get some scientific information to support you, right? So you want your topic sentence to be general enough that you can explain it, add to it, give examples, evidence, and other items later in the paragraph. So explanation, this is part of the peel. It's the supporting sentences. So again, same paragraph, my hometown, Wheaton, is famous for several amazing natural features. So we know that the rest of the paragraph is going to talk about these natural features. First, it is noted for the Wheaton River, which is very wide and beautiful. So that is one explanation of a natural feature in Wheaton. Also on the other side of town is Wheaton Hill, which is unusual because it's very steep. So that is another supporting sentence about that natural feature. So pretty much everything else in the paragraph, again, this is too short for an academic paragraph, but everything else can support it. And that's what this is about. Other supporting sentences. So this is the second and third sentences are supporting because they support the topic, right? Well, what if we add more? So my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. This is where you could start listing them and then decide what you want to write about them. First, it's noted for the Wheaton River, which is very wide and beautiful. Also on the other side of town is Wheaton Hill, which is unusual because it is very steep. The third amazing feature is the big old tree. This tree stands 200 feet tall and is probably about 600 years old. That sounds like a pretty prominent tree there. So that topic sentence, again, is very general so that you can continue to add examples. Development, details in the paragraph, right? Okay, so my hometown's famous for several amazing natural features. So these details, first, you have the river. Also, you have the hill. And the third is the tree. All of these are developing your paragraph. So it's not just listing examples, it's developing it. But is it finished? No, not yet. Some people say an academic essay, or an academic paragraph should be 5 to 7 sentences. Others say no, it's 7 to 8 or 7 to 10 or 7 to 12. Paragraphs really have no limited amount of length so long as you can develop them, so long as you can give them more information and develop them into a concrete idea that is full of information. You don't want to go too far, but you don't want too little. I usually claim that in an academic paragraph, no less than a half a page that's typed in double space, the Times Roman 12, MLA, no less than half a page should be a decent sized paragraph. But is it developed? Is this one developed? A little, but it can go much further. So, what are the details? And what are they for? You want to make your thoughts clear. You want to make those connections for us. You think about what your reader may be asking. You know, okay, besides a tree, a hill, and a river, what else is going on in Wheaton, right? That you want to give yourself a chance to provide more thorough explanations, definitions, descriptions, associations, any type of supporting details, and make your points more interesting and inviting. So the more details that you can include to clarify what that topic is explaining, the better. So check out this paragraph, and I know I'm blocking some of it, but my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. So this is saying several, not just a few, a couple, but several. So we know the rest of the paragraph is then going to describe and explain these natural features. You're going to add those details. Okay, first it is noted for the Wheaton River, which is very wide and beautiful. On either side of this river, which is 175 feet wide, are many willow trees which have long branches that can move gracefully in the wind. In autumn, the leaves of these trees fall and cover the riverbanks like golden snow. Can you picture it? Also, on the other side of town is Wheaton Hill, which is unusual because it is very steep. Even though it is steep, climbing this hill is not dangerous because there are some firm rocks along the side that can be used as stairs. There are no trees around this hill, so it stands clearly against the sky and can be seen from many miles away. We can see it better now, right? Then the third amazing feature is the big old tree. This tree stands 200 feet tall and is about 600 years old. So the darker part, the bolded part within this paragraph, is adding further development. So instead of just giving us the minimum amount of information, okay, yeah, we have a wide river. How wide? I can't picture it in my head. So the bolded information now lets your reader picture it because they don't know what it looks like. Okay. And then the link part of the appeal is the concluding sentence. You don't just want to stop on the last thing. Let's back up. Your last sentence is, this tree stands 200 feet tall and is probably about 600 years old. By now, we're not talking about the river anymore. We're not talking about the hill anymore. We're just talking about the tree. So you want a final sentence, one that either wraps it up into a final piece or takes you to the next paragraph. And that's this link. That's the concluding sentence. So if you can think of a concluding sentence as sort of a topic sentence in reverse, it either connects back to the main point or takes you to the next one. So we're not done yet, right? So, same paragraph talks about the river, talks about the hill, and then adds, these 3 landmarks are truly amazing and can make my hometown, a famous place. So, topic sentence, my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features, talks about those features, then these 3 landmarks are truly amazing and make my hometown a famous place. So it's not saying the same exact thing, but it's kind of making this full circle and bringing it back to the beginning. All right, so I hope this helps you out with how to develop paragraph, what kind of details to add, what a topic sentence is, and how to explain, how to actually make a better academic paragraph instead of these little tiny short ones that don't really give us enough information. Thank you.